After I posted my video on how I prepared for my Amazon interview a couple of weeks back, many of my friends reached out to me personally and asked, what programming language should I learn to crack a job at Amazon? I'm sure many of you might have similar questions. So to answer all of your questions, I'm making this video. Hey Cyberpunks, my name is Ram and welcome to Sprint Master. Before I answer the question of what programming language should you learn to crack a job at Amazon, Google, or any other big tech companies for that matter, let me ask you a question. What programming languages do you know? If you are just starting out and don't know any of the programming languages, that's fine too. Just let me know them in the comment section below so that I can help you better in my upcoming videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel Sprint Master to get updates of our new videos whenever I upload a new video. Coming back to our question, what programming languages should you learn to crack a coding interview? Companies like Amazon, Google, they are so giant companies and they have built huge systems to support their software. Do you think they do all of this with only one programming language? Obviously not. They use multiple programming languages across the organization. I don't know how it works with Google, but I can talk a little bit about Amazon because I have been working with Amazon for almost 1.5 years now. So from what I have seen at Amazon, each team is unique and their requirements are unique and they act like a startup. You might have already heard about Amazon's 2 pizza rule, right? So basically what it means is that a team in Amazon should be small enough that it can be fed with 2 pizzas. Each team has their own requirements and based on those requirements, teams have the flexibility of picking the tech stack that best serves their needs. So during this 1.5 year at Amazon, I have worked on at least 3 different projects and each of these projects has got different tech stacks. Some of them are built on AWS and some of them are not. I worked majorly on Java, C++, Node.js at Amazon, and under the hood, I have worked with many other technologies. So there is no single programming language fit for the entire company. Before joining Amazon, I was proficient only in Java and learned C++ during my college, but I haven't really worked on any projects using C++. And I have never even touched Node.js, but I was still able to pull strings together to do my job effectively. This happens to every one of us, right? If you are an already experienced software developer, you might have already felt that whatever you learned in the college is way different from what you are doing at your job in day-to-day life. For newbies out there, if you are just starting out, don't freak out. Just learn the basics and you will do just fine when you get into a new job. To understand a little bit more on what kind of programming languages these technology companies use, check out this wiki page. This wiki page gives you the list of the top tech companies and what kind of programming languages they do use and what kind of front-end technologies, what kind of back-end technologies and what kind of databases they use. Everything is in there. Though the list of the technologies used isn't conclusive, this just shows you how each company is diverse and use multiple technologies across the organization. So no programming language is left out and you are in a good position with whatever the programming language you already know. Then why am I doing this video? Does it even make sense for you to watch this video after I just told that whatever the programming language you know just works fine? Don't jump into any conclusions yet. Even though Amazon, Google, or any other big tech companies don't care about what programming languages you know, they do care about your problem solving skills. And if you want to showcase that you can solve a problem, you have to showcase that by using some kind of a programming language. And this programming language can be any programming language as long as you are comfortable with it. When I say comfortable, I mean you are really proficient in that language. So many people might think that they look at the job requirements and the job requirement says like maybe proficient in Java or something, and they may think that only if they showcase these certain skills, they get this job. But that is not true, at least in the case of these big tech companies. So as long as you are able to solve the problem they asked for, you are in. If you want to solve the problem effectively, you have to use the best data structures. And if you want to use the best data structures, you need to know the in and out of the programming language you know best to build these data structures. So when you claim that you know a programming language, be prepared to write a syntactically correct code on a whiteboard for any given problem using this programming language. Also learn what kind of libraries exist within that language and how you can leverage those libraries to solve the problem effectively. To help you understand why it is important to learn the libraries of that language, let me give you my personal experience, which was back in 2013 maybe. So back in 2013, when I was in my college, I used to attend so many coding competitions. And while I was attending that coding competitions, usually what happens was like, I know how to solve the problem, but I never had enough time to solve these problems. At that time, I didn't realize that this is lack of my knowledge with the existing libraries of Java. But over that period of time, I came across these existing Java data structures like array list or hash maps or hash tables, sets, collections, etc. So at that time, I realized that okay, if I used these data structures back in that coding competitions, my life would have been way easier to solve these problems. So in 2013, when I was doing these coding competitions, what I used to do is like, if I was in need of some kind of a hash table, I used to write separate functions for building that hash table from the scratch and try to use those functions. So obviously I never had enough time to solve these problems because I am building the actual core functionality itself, which I don't have to. So if you are in a software development, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just try to make the best use of the existing technologies or existing libraries that you can leverage to your needs. So if you claim that you know a programming language, try to learn that programming language in and out. What kind of libraries exist, what kind of functionalities exist within that programming language, and what is the time complexity of these operations. So your coding interview lasts for just about 45 minutes to an hour, right? Within this 45 minutes to an hour, you have to make your interviewer believe that you know how to solve this problem or actually solve this problem, and you have to make him believe that given this opportunity, this job, you can solve any problem that company is currently struggling with. And if you want to showcase these kind of skills in that 45 minutes time frame, you cannot do that by just reinventing the wheel, like building everything from the scratch. You have to just make use of existing libraries and try to build the solution in an optimal way and make your interviewer believe that you can solve this problem. That's why I'm saying that you don't have to know each and every programming language that exists. You just have to know at least one programming language is deep enough that you can solve a given problem in an optimal fashion without having to reinvent the wheel every time you do. And this level of learning the programming language doesn't come with just reading the code and doesn't come with just writing the code on the editors. You have to practice writing this code on a white paper, and you have to make sure that your code is syntactically correct. So my suggestion to you is like, when you take up some problem, try to write this code on a white paper, and then after writing on the white paper and do some kind of a testing on this white paper itself, and if you are confident enough, try to put this code into some kind of a code editor and through some compiler and run it, and try to get it as much correct as possible, so that because you have to write on a whiteboard when you are going to these kind of coding interviews, right? So if you practice writing on the white paper, one, you will get a syntactically correct code. Two, you will analyze the code by looking at it, and you will be better judgmental on like what the code is exactly doing when you are looking at the white paper rather than some kind of a code editor. So yeah, practice using the white paper for when you are trying to learn a programming language. Technology is ever changing, and new programming languages may come into existence, and they may beat the existing programming languages, and the entire software industry might go and migrate to that new programming language. So ultimately, programming language doesn't matter. What matters is, one, your programming solving skills, and two, how well you know the data structures, and three, how willing are you to learn these new technologies. Honestly, if you have these three qualities, you can crack a job at any tech companies and ultimately perform well at your career as a software developer. So don't stress out too much on what programming language you know. Instead, focus on what you can achieve with the programming language you know. And to give some justification on why we are making this video, I want to add on that even though you can get a job with any programming language you know, if you are just starting out and if you are trying to learn some new programming language to get into the software industry, try to focus your energies on the most widely used programming languages, because big tech companies, they don't care about what programming language you know, but other companies might do, right? So if you learn these widely used programming languages, the chances are, even if you don't get a job with these tech companies, you will end up with a job with the other companies. So as far as I know, I think the most widely used programming languages in the software industry as of today are Python, Java, C, C++, and C Sharp. So try to learn one of these programming languages so that you have a better chances of getting a job. If you are already experienced software engineer, then don't worry about what programming languages you want to learn unless you want to. Just try to focus on whatever the programming language you know the best. I hope you liked today's session, and if you do, please click the like button below and share this video with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel Sprint Master to get updates of our new videos. And let me know what programming languages you know and where you are at your career in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Ram signing off.